Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm excited to share an update on my weight loss journey. It's update time. I can't believe it's been a week already. But I felt like this week I saw, some progress. I did lose a pound. I'm going to take you through exactly what the week has been like for me. A reminder, I'm using compounded Tirzepatide. I'm on 7.5. I am following a meal plan. I'm doing my strength training 4 days a week. Tons and tons of walking on my walking pad during work. Overall, it's a solid week, and I'm going to break it down for you all today in today's video. I felt like I have been sticking to my focus on eating better this week, and seeing that 1 pound loss feels like a win because every pound is progress at this point, 2 years in. And you may not believe me when I say this, but I would have been satisfied even if I broke even this week. And I'm going to explain that to you all very, very shortly. But it hasn't been without, I feel like, consistency, focus, finding ways just to take it meal by meal, day by day. And yes, I've said it already, compounded Tirzepatide, I'm on it to support my weight loss. But if you're new to my channel, I'm 2 years in either taking Mounjaro. I started with Mounjaro, now I'm on compounded Tirzepatide. At one point I was 93 pounds down. I was seeing some increases on that scale as of late, and I was just trying to find ways to stay focused, keep the stress down, and find some joy in each step along the way. But if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of my future videos. I'm trying to consistently upload on Mondays and Thursdays now. And also, if there are any topics that you want me to cover that I haven't covered yet, put it in the comments below. I will add it to, my scheduled topics, really, future videos. But let's go ahead and walk through the key elements that I believe helped me lose a pound of weight loss this week. First, being on 7.5 of compounded Tirzepatide, I'm going to keep reminding people of that. I am injecting currently in my stomach. I'm just rotating around. I don't care for my arm or thigh anymore. I really stepped up my supplement game this week, as in I was taking them at the right times, remembering to take them. I started a new one called GLP-1 support from a local med spa in my area, Life Med. You see me sometimes wearing shirts that say LM on it. They created a new medical grade supplement line, so I'm slowly switching from Thorne to that because I would get my Thorne multivitamins from them, and they just switched over. I was reading how important, essential amino acids are. And I was like, well, I think I prefer my EAAs, my BCAAs, my glutamines in a pill form rather than drinking it with all the additional additives. I think that's the same thing with magnesium. I try to avoid any gummies as well. The GLP-1 support even has ginger root extract in it for nausea. Thankfully, I don't really experience that much of that these days, but I remember when I did, I would do ginger chews in the past. And I stopped because I couldn't believe how much sugar was in them. But I have mentioned also in past videos that I was having a tough time with fatigue. And that's why I dropped down to 7.5. I can report the fatigue is still there, but it is nowhere near what it was. And I'm thinking it's not as much to do with the dosage right now that's causing it. My allergies are awful. They were awful this week. I just am so tired. This is like the first year I could really feel the pollen already. And I don't know if I can say if it's the medication alone that's doing this or what, but I also want to say I don't think it was the supplements was the reason I lost 1 pound. I just wanted to mention that. I just think it's very important for us to find what we want to combine with Tirzepatide along with our, healthy eating habits. But I also started back up on B12 shots. I do not have a B12 deficiency. I would take them weekly. And when I first started, and I did not battle fatigue like this, I stopped. I stopped taking them after I did all that blood work, and I said I didn't have it. I was like, let me just stop and see what happens. Now let me just say, this is my first week back on it, and the fatigue was maybe strong than the day after, and that was it. And that's a win in my book. But I've been really focused on following my healthy meal plan this week, eating those whole nutrient-dense foods. I feel like when I do that, my energy is up a little bit more, and it's just a great way to support my weight loss. And I feel like my meals have been packed really with lean proteins, plenty of veggies and healthy fats and fruits. And I recently added hemp hearts to increase protein in my, it also has healthy fats as well, but just to increase protein in my fruit smoothie. I was looking for a way to increase the protein in that, and I didn't want to do protein powder because I use that later on in the day in my coffee. I'm trying to limit protein powders to a minimum of once a day. And then eventually I want to get to every other day. I really want to use it when I know I can't get in as many calories as I would, like for whatever reason there is. But I'm easing into some of the additions into my fruit smoothie. But right now I have it up to 35 grams of protein, 16 grams of fat, and my favorite, 17 grams of fiber from the seeds and fruits that I've added in. And I feel like it's also keeping me satisfied until lunch. And I'm not really needing to add that mid-morning snack as much between breakfast and lunch as I have in the past. And I think having a meal plan in place that I enjoy has made it so much easier for me to avoid those temptations. And I've been really trying to stay on track. I've been feeling so much better, I think, because I'm fueling my body properly. I'm also not stressing about hitting macros. Yes, I do like to focus on protein, getting my daily calories, on making sure I'm eating enough. But if like one day I have more carbs than fat and vice versa, so what? It is what it is. It's going to come down really to how I'm feeling. I think it's all about how I can nourish myself while still enjoying the foods that I'm eating. It's really what it comes down to. And also just an observation from this week, I had less sugary food urges. The food noise was not rearing its ugly head as it was for the past couple weeks, really like 2 months. I'm not sure if it's because I increased my protein per day, or maybe I'm now doing that in combination with trying to get a minimum of 30 grams of fiber every day. I don't know. But I'm going to keep going and see just how I feel. I'm just going to keep kind of following that. I've been mindful of my portion sizes. I'm enjoying tracking again in my MyFitnessPal. That was a goal of mine in April. I don't obsess over hitting my requirements, but I love to see that there's ways that I can make little small changes, especially making sure I'm eating enough and getting the protein up. Strength training has been a huge part, I feel like, of the success this week. I always say I hit the gym 4 days a week, but I feel like it's made a difference, to be able to, they say when you build muscle, it boosts your metabolism. You can burn more calories even at rest, which then helps with fat loss. I have noticed the energy as of late after I have a good strength training session. And it really just sets the tone for the rest of the day. But I also started using a free workout app where I will put my upper and lower body routine in, and I'm tracking my reps and the weight so that I can, my goal is to get stronger. I went into this week, I was like, let's do a simple strength test. And I was shocked at my starting weight for each of the exercises. And I may not see that number drop on the scale at the rate that I would in the past, but seeing the couple of times where I would go to the gym and I was like, this week I got to up my weight. I'd put certain weighted plates on the bar of the Smith machine, and I would go like to do a squat, and I brace myself. I'm like, I got this. And I was like, well, wait. And I was like, something up? And I do a double take. I was like, I gotta add just a little bit more weight. See, because it's a strength test I was doing. And I was like, if I finish with a couple extra reps, then I'm like, you definitely have room for a little more weight. And that was the same thing with the bench press and so many of my other exercises. So I can't wait to see, what increases I make as I progress through that program. Obviously slowly, but this will just be another fun area to challenge myself some more. And when I say I want to lift heavy, I'm not increasing drastically, especially I've had 2 back surgeries. I've had a neck surgery. I am very injury prone. So I am very smart when it comes to progressive overload in the gym. But even though I said April is really just put that focus on eating better, and I keep saying, that because I want to keep putting it into existence with, tracking and, keeping track of my weight also during the week. But I think, really excited. I'm testing out a new smart scale. It produces results like an in-body scan. I was getting in-body scans done at the gym. I'm going to lose access to that because I am canceling my gym membership to use my free condo gym. But because I was thinking, I'm going to cancel that. I'm going to lose access to in-bodies. Maybe I'll ask my doctor for a DEXA scan. What's the cost of that? And I realized, I was like, wait, the scale is the same exact 98% accuracy compared to a DEXA scan. So it's like comparable to in-body. And I just want to get more consistent readings, even if it's every week, every month. But I just want to find another way to monitor progress. and make sure that I'm not losing muscle mass. And I think it's important to look at other key metrics other than just that number on the scale. And I keep saying I want to switch that mindset. It's very tough to switch that mindset into not focusing so heavy on the number on the scale, but like your body fat percentage, because it may not change so drastically week after week, but it does have such a more of an impact than, say, just losing weight. But I loved how I was getting most of my steps in through my walking pad because I couldn't get outside. The weather was awful. I don't want to walk when it's cold and windy, and some days it rained. I think the most amount of steps that I could get outside was when I would walk my dog out, who would walk out the door and literally turn around and be like, not today. I think it's easy to be active when it's nicer out, but now with the walking pad, I feel like I can get those steps in, multitask, work on projects and meetings, and still try to aim for my 10,000 steps a day. I think since I made that investment in the walking pad, it has really helped me get my steps in. I feel like I'm hitting 10K before I even get to the gym, and I don't really have to get on that treadmill very much because I'm short on steps after my workout, because I can use that walking pad during, my work hours. I can now get in and out of the gym. My goal is to get in and out of the gym in an hour, and that has been unbelievable for me. As you know, walking has always been my main form of cardio for the past, 2 years, because it's low impact. It's, really, really effective for supporting my weight loss. And I feel like it also just helps keep that stress down, and it just boosts my mood. I didn't break out my weighted vest this week. I don't know if I even talked about my weighted vest on this channel yet, but I am going to bring that back into the mix. I try to use it at least 2 times a week. But like I said, when I stepped on that scale this week and I saw that 1 pound, I felt like the work I put in was justified, but I am taking it week by week at this point. And it just is a constant reminder that I need to combine Tirzepatide with healthy eating, strength training, and just being active, because that is what works for me. And I'm not going to see these massive changes week after week all the time. I have to get used to the small wins. And I really think my biggest win was I made it through the week without those impulses for candy and chocolate chip cookies and chips. And that's why I said I would have been happy if I broke even, because I was so proud of myself for just resisting the urge to snack on that food I don't want. But I'm excited to see how this continues. Like I said, week after week, celebrating the little victories. This 1 pound loss I'll take it. I will take it. I'll see what next week brings. But I also started putting together a health dashboard, which more to come on that. I think it's going to help me gauge success other than, me defining success by just that number on the scale. But comment below, what was your big win this week? Like I just said, I'm so proud of myself for not stopping in the grocery store after the gym and grabbing a cookie. I also allowed my portions to not creep up. But I know there's going to be good and not so great weeks. But I just know that I can rebound, keep putting my, best foot forward. And also, I had a friend ask me if I was tired of diet or trying to hit my weight loss goal after 2 years. And I was reminded of something that I saw on Instagram, and I was happy I remembered that. And I wish I could remember exactly who posted it and when, because I would post it below, but it said, eating healthy is actually eating normally, but people think it's dieting. And I remember saying, why, this was a while ago, why am I calling it a 90-10 whole foods diet or an 80-20 whole foods diet? Like I want to try to do better and shift my mindset that this is a normal way to eat. And I think the only difference is really I'm just eating in a slight calorie deficit. So like when I said I want to eat better in April, I just want to get back to how I would normally eat to feel the best. And I know being 100% all the time is not feasible, but I'm still working and finding that balance and giving myself grace for when I deviate from my normal, just my normal eating plan. Not I'm on a diet when, I feel like I'm eating so many amazing foods and I feel so good. But I want to thank you so much for, watching this week's update. Like I said, I can't believe it's been a week already. I hope you're finding your own path to health and wellness and seeing the progress and hitting the goals that you're aiming for. And I hope me sharing my journey every week my very, very long weight loss journey. I can be of any help in any way. If you're considering on taking Tirzepatide, you have any questions, just drop them in the comments below. I love interacting with all of you. I love supporting, each and every one of you on your journey. Also, don't forget, hit that like button, comment, subscribe if you want to. Don't hit the notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And my next video, I'm going to be sharing my experience with the Mochi Health Registered Dietitian. I wanted to combine it with this video, but I don't want these videos to go too long, and I think both of that would have been a problem. But until the next video, keep moving forward, take care of yourselves, and I will catch you all later. Bye.